very critical to creating great teams, creating great workplaces, creating places where people want to work and are happy working, is what we call keeping the team. And this is step 7 in dynamic discourse. Keeping the team is a more nuanced and complicated subject because it's different in every office and everywhere you go. But there are some things that we can latch onto that are sort of universal and let us know the types of places that people like to work and the types of things that will help us to keep the team. And what's important is if we spend more time at work than we do with our families. And over time, small disagreements, different things in the office can make it very abusive to come to work or very difficult to come to work, or it will create, it'll force people to sort of check out and only give what's required and treat it like a job. Now, keeping the team is a very human thing, and when it comes down to it, there are no tricks involved with it. What's involved with it is understanding human beings, treating human beings authentically, and then when you create incentives, when you reward people, that you think through the consequences of those actions. Let me give you 2 poignant examples, one positive and one negative. First one is, I'll give you the negative example. So I have a friend that works in a law firm, and she's very motivated. Before she was recently promoted, she was an administrative assistant. So the end of the year came, all the administrative assistants got a 2% raise. Great, right? Wrong. Well, how could getting a 2% raise be a bad thing? Well, other than, getting a 5% raise, right? But why is it a bad thing? Well, for her it was a bad thing because even though she was an administrative assistant, she had gone out of her way to do several special projects for the law firm. Some of those projects involved databases that increased efficiency, software programs that she created on her own that helped lawyers to get information easier. So she had done all these amazing things above and beyond her job that created real impact for the firm, and yet she got the same raise as all the other administrative assistants that just did their job. So what did that do? It incentivized those people who don't do anything extra, and it was a huge insult and a de-incentive for my friend who had gone out of the way to be special and create real value for the law firm. Now, thankfully, in this case, she actually stood up at a company-wide meeting and challenged the senior partners on this topic, and now she's promoted and has a better job. She actually does training for the law firm, so I think that's great. But you can see how something as insensitive as that, or just across the board, without humanizing, without taking special interest in who is really doing something special, can work against the success of your company, or in this case, your law firm. Now let's take another very simple example. I have a friend who works in a small office. There's 3 bosses and about 5 support staff. One of the things that the bosses do in this office is if they leave early, everybody leaves early. So if they take off on a Friday afternoon to go golfing, everybody gets to go home on the Friday afternoon. Now what does that cause? It causes great loyalty. My friend feels like that her bosses treat them with the ultimate respect. They're not looking down on them. They're treating them as they would like to be treated. It doesn't cost them, it'll cost them a little, I guess, in productivity, but that small gesture of allowing them to go breeds loyalty. And sure enough, in this office, all of those support people, including my friend, have worked there for 8 years or longer. And they enjoy coming to work because they're treated fairly. So when you're thinking about keeping the team, it has to do with recognizing successes that people have, recognizing when people are going above and beyond, and then rewarding them with very personalized rewards based on the things that they're doing. It also involves a lot of times companies come down with dictates or universal rules or laws, And if you really think about it, these types of things really turn people off. They're full functioning, motivated adults. And when you treat them like a digit, you're going to get digit performance back from people. And so one important concept, keeping the team, is you could think about your own family. Now, if your family's like mine, it's a complicated, difficult relationships that you do perpetuate over time. And you don't necessarily like everything about your family, but you give them huge latitude to make mistakes, to have differences, and you still invite them to Christmas, and you still carry on a relationship for 10, 20 years. And in the same way, you want to build up buffer between employees, between management and employees. You want to have that forgiveness and that understanding that we don't have to be perfect, but that we understand each other as human beings, so that over time you don't have resentment, and most importantly, and this is the invisible killer that you can avoid, is that you keep people from checking out and only giving what they have to give, because that's not how winning organizations succeed. Good luck.